Do these 5 things on your payday to 2x your retirement plan. Did you know that half of working Americans don't plan to retire? Not because they love their jobs, but because they don't feel financially secure enough to quit. The fear of being stuck in a 9-to-5 grind forever is real. And for many, the idea of financial freedom feels like a distant dream. But I have great news. It doesn't have to be that way. Take Grigory Lurkin, who retired from his job at Amazon in 2021. He found a way to retire early with a rock-solid strategy that could work for you too. And Grigory's not alone. Hundreds of others have escaped the rat race and are living on their own terms. The question is, how did they do it? And in this video, I'm going to reveal the exact steps you can take to 2x your retirement savings and start building the financial security you need to retire comfortably without taking reckless risks. So if you're ready to take control of your financial future and want to learn what Grigory and so many others did differently, stick with me. But before we get into that, remember to hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, stay informed for the latest insights on financial cryptocurrencies and practical investment tips. And be sure to grab my masterclass on money and crypto. It's 100% free for a limited time, and it's designed 100% to help you understand what's happening in the world today and get ahead of that, okay? Now, let's dive in. Step 1, start with an emergency fund. This may sound simple, but imagine this for a moment. What if you walked into work tomorrow and suddenly you got laid off? Would you have enough money saved to keep you afloat? Could you cover your rent, your bills, your daily expenses without that paycheck? If 2020 taught us anything, it's that life can change in an instant, often without any warning. And these sudden changes can be so drastic that they leave you feeling lost, overwhelmed, or even depressed, especially if you're not prepared to handle them. One of the greatest strengths anyone can have in uncertain times is resilience. And this is especially true when it comes to personal finances. How you handle a financial shock can be life-defining. While some people are able to bounce back relatively unscathed, others struggle long after the crisis has passed. Now, what separates these two groups? Preparedness. Take Bob Freeland, for example. In 2003, Bob, living in New Jersey, lost his job. His severance covered rent, utilities, and bills, but he soon realized his savings were running out. Determined to change, Bob made savings for emergencies a priority after finding work again. Fast forward over 15 years, Bob was working as a communications director. But when he lost his job again, this time he didn't panic. Pivoting to consulting, he faced a $2,300 repair for his water heater and refrigerator. That never happens to anyone else, right? Just me and Bob? Thanks to his emergency fund, Bob covered the cost without stress. An emergency fund is your financial safety net for sudden shocks like medical bills, car repairs, job losses.
So what then becomes the answer? Just save $2,000, put it in an account that you forget about, and it literally, mine was labeled do not touch. But that was the point, and it was there labeled do not touch for that reason. It's like, if shit goes weird for some reason, I'm covered.
Having an emergency fund not only protects your finances, but it also increases your peace of mind. Many people lose sleep over money issues knowing how difficult it would be if their paycheck were delayed. An emergency fund helps you avoid high interest debt when unexpected expenses arise. Before focusing on retirement savings, make sure you've got at least a month's worth of emergency savings in place. Set aside 5 to 10% of each paycheck to build your emergency fund until you've saved enough to cover at least 3 months of expenses. See, that's where that 3-month thing is. And honestly, I personally don't give a rip about 5 to 10%. I'm about do it. I'm about get it done, right? Don't dance around 5 to 10%. Sure, do that if that's all you can afford right now. But you know what? Get hungry, get eager to change your life, and put as much as you can. I would say make that happen in 3 months if possible. Have a month of savings inside of 3 months. Get radical about everything to get moving forward for your future. Now, once you have an emergency fund, start saving for your retirement, typically using a 401k. Step 2, maximize your 401k match. Think of contributing to a 401k like planting seeds for your future. Just as planting seeds today ensures a sufficient harvest tomorrow, consistently contributing to your retirement allows your money to grow over time. The earlier you start and the more consistent you are in investing, the greater potential for your investments to benefit from compound interest and market growth. It's a small step that makes a huge difference, but surprisingly, a lot of people overlook it. In fact, up to 25% of employees don't take full advantage of their company's 401k match. That's essentially leaving free money on the table. This can have a huge impact on your future, especially when you consider how much those contributions add up to over the years. Take Grigory Lukin, for example. He achieved financial independence and retired early from his Amazon job at just 34. How? By being smart with his savings. He not only saved a big chunk of his paycheck, he also took advantage of the benefits his job offered, like relocation bonuses. Now, living in Quebec City, where rent is just $500 a month, he's able to enjoy his life without financial stress. Lukin's strategy was simple. He made sure to invest 100% of the company match, and he didn't put any extra into his 401k beyond that. That's something I also teach. Everything else he saved for retirement was done outside of company-sponsored accounts. Here is what the rich know that you don't.
What I tell people is, say, does your company have a 401k? Yes. Does it have a match? Yes. Explain the match. Well, if I put in 4%, they match with 4%. Okay, good, I do that. That's 100% rate of return. But above the match, I wouldn't put in my 401k anymore.
Let's break it down with an example. Imagine you're earning $65K a year and your employer matches 100% of your contributions up to 5% of your salary. This is a very common scenario. That's like getting a guaranteed raise if you take it of 5%. Here's what this looks like. If you get paid twice a month, each paycheck's around $2,700. 5% of that is $135. When you contribute $135, your employer matches that $135 with another $135, making your investment in retirement $270 per pay period. That adds up to almost $6,500 a year. Think about it this way. Every time you don't take full advantage of your company's match, it's like paying a stupid tax because that's money you're missing out on. Take advantage of these opportunities like Lukin did. It can set you up for a comfortable retirement, and it all starts with a small and consistent effort today. Step number 3, automate it, baby. When it comes to saving for retirement, one of the smartest moves you can make is to remove yourself from the equation. I do it. All the wealthy people I know do it. Automate everything. That's the beauty of company matches. Once they're set up, they happen automatically, and you don't have to go through decision fatigue of thinking about it. Personally, I've always saved 10% of my income minimum for retirement. And I've coached my clients to do the exact same. It's a simple, disciplined approach that pays off in the long run. Take the story of Ronald Reed, for example. Ronald was an unassuming man from the US who lived a humble life. After serving in World War II, he worked at a service station for 25 years, pumping gas for customers. Later, he took on a part-time job as a janitor at JCPenney, where he worked for 17 more years. Ronald never earned much money. His friends and coworkers were far from wealthy, but he had a habit that made all the difference. He saved a little bit of his paycheck consistently. Those small savings allowed him to do something truly remarkable. When Ronald passed away in 2014 at age 92, it was revealed he had secretly amassed an $8 million fortune by investing in modest savings and stocks. He didn't invest large amounts, but through consistency and patience, his wealth grew exponentially. Similarly, I opened a brokerage account when I was an employee, which you can easily do today with platforms like E-Trade or Fidelity. Automating contributions from your paycheck ensures consistent investing without relying on willpower or deciding to try to time the market. Take into account prioritizing tax-advantaged accounts like a 401k or IRA until you're on track for retirement. Beyond that, consider investing an additional 5% in low-cost index funds like Vanguard. Today, I'd recommend putting that extra 5% into Bitcoin, using a service like I use called Swan Bitcoin. I have a link below where you can get a little Bitcoin for free if you want. And this allows you to own Bitcoin outright. Here's the key lesson. I don't recommend buying Bitcoin or crypto through platforms like Robinhood or PayPal. As I teach in my Money and Crypto Masterclass, if it's not your keys, it's not your crypto. Many lost money with FTX and other exchanges because they didn't truly own their crypto. Don't make that mistake. Don't pay a stupid tax. Step 4, make access to funds difficult. Let me share a story with you. This is my bag of gummy bears, the ones I promised to only eat on weekends. Sounds easy, right? But for months, I'd leave them on the kitchen island. I mean, look at this bag, right? And every time I walked in, I'd grab one without thinking, or maybe a handful. When I was watching a movie or TV, guess what ended up next to me? As it turned out, I'd empty a bag pretty quick. And if you can't tell, it's not like I need extra pounds. Let's just be real, all right? Then I had an epiphany. To stick to my goal, I needed to make the bears harder to access. So I hid the bag on the highest shelf of a cupboard that I rarely use. And guess what? It worked. I even forgot about them. Like, honest to God, there was about a 6-month period where all of a sudden I opened up the cupboard and I was like, oh, my gummy bears. Oh. Oh. See, that small change helped me stay on track effortlessly. The lesson? Easy access means it won't last. Come on, let's be real. Now, let's apply this to finances. I once had a client who earned over 7 figures and was behind by nearly $250,000 in taxes. The real kicker? They saved the money, but treated the tax account like a piggy bank. Ugh! The solution? We created a new account that was very hard to access. And in 18 months, along with some new spending and investing habits, they were 100% caught up. The same rule applies to retirement saving. Make it easy to go in, hard to go out, and you'll stay on track. Step number 5, ensure sustainability, baby. Saving money isn't just about putting aside what you can. It's about creating a plan you can stick to for the long haul without burning out. Think of it like filling a reservoir for the dry season. Every day you pour a little in, knowing you'll need it later. The challenge? Resisting the urge to dip in on a whim, right? It's tempting, but if you do it too often, you'll have nothing left when the dry season comes. And it happens far too often. Forbes reports a 36% surge in hardship distributions from retirement accounts between 22 and 23. People are dipping into their savings when it's unbeneficial. The best retirement plan is the one you don't drain early, losing money to penalties and taxes, more stupid tax. For example, withdrawing $10K early hits you with a 10% penalty of $1,000. Plus taxes. In the end, you lose about 30% of that money. And don't forget the future potential, because for many, that 10K would have grown into 20 or 30 or even more, 40,000 for some people. That's why having at least a month's worth of savings before saving for retirement is critical. Use the car test. If your car broke down today, could you cover the repair in cash? If not, it's time to save more before saving for retirement. Because you've made it to this point in the video, here's a high five from me to you. Come on, hit me back. What? Now, remember to grab my Money and Crypto Masterclass for free down below. Don't be a dummin', just do it, all right? And now watch the video right here, and most of all, you keep living your life to the fullest, baby. And I will see you in the next video. Peace. What? Walk like an Egyptian. These are really, really good.